Okay, your video for 7-4 special products, you don't technically have to know these just in general, but your life will be a lot easier once we get to later on in the book and into 10th grade and 11th grade, if you can remember them and recognize these special types of multiplication of binomials. So we're on page 414, 7-4, special products. And I'm just going to do the guided practice and explain while I go. So first, special type of product, there are three, is called a square of a sum. It's on page 414. And the rule says that if you have a number or a letter or a product of numbers and letters, so A, plus another number, letter, product, whatever, term plus term squared, that's the same thing as in expanded form. Since it's a plus b and there's two of them, a plus b multiplied by a plus b. Now this format, you can do the long way, multiply, 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 and then combine in the middle if you want, or you can memorize the format for what it will look like when it's finished. So the format for when it's finished is you would take the a and you would square it and put it here. The second term would be 2 multiplied by whatever this term is times this term. And then the last one would be the last term squared. So if I look at this example, what I have here is 8c plus 3d squared. So in this problem, your 8c would be your a, and then your b would be 3d. So using my formula over here, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, I would have to square the a, so 8c squared. So it's like I have 8c squared. And then the second term would be, well, let's just multiply this out. 8c squared would be 8c times 8c, which is 64c squared. So then that middle term is going to be positive, and it's going to be 8c multiplied by 3d, so 8c multiplied by 3d, and then all of that times 2. So 8c and 3d together gives you 24cd multiplied by 2 would give us 48cd. Okay, and then that last term would be 3d squared. So we're just going to take 3d and square it. Here again, this is 3d multiplied by 3d, so this is a positive 9d squared. And this would be your final answer. Okay, again, you can do it the long way and it will give you the same answer, but this is just a format that if you know it, it makes it just a little bit quicker. So here again, we're going to square the first term, which gives us 9x squared. We're going to multiply 3x and 4y to get 12xy, and then multiply that by 2. So we have 12xy multiplied by 2. So a positive 24xy. And then the last term is this last one squared. So 16y squared. Final answer right there. Okay, so just a little bit quicker than having to multiply it out the long way. The square of a difference is the same exact thing, except for instead of a plus in the middle, it's going to be a minus. Okay, and when we expand it, there's 2 a minus b's instead. Okay, so same process, like I said, we're going to take the first term and square it. And so we would get 36p squared. Then we're going to multiply 6p and negative 1, or 6p and 1. 6p multiplied by 1 is 6p, and then times 2 would give me 12p, but I'm going to put minus this time, so negative 12p. And then the last term would be your last number squared, so it's going to be plus, and 1 squared would just give you 1. So this would be your final answer here. And the same thing on the second one. A squared is your first term because you're squaring this first term. A squared is a squared. Then you have a multiplied by 2b which gives you 2ab, multiplied by 2, so 4ab. Make sure you put the minus, and then the last term will be positive, and you're squaring 2b, so 4b squared. And that's our final answer for that one. The last format is called a product of a sum and a difference. It's on page 416. And all this says is instead of getting a trinomial, so normally when we multiply a binomial times a binomial, almost always we get a trinomial. The only time that you will not get a trinomial in general is if you have the same terms, but one is a sum and one is a difference, and you're multiplying them together. So when you do that, what's going to happen is when you do the long way, the middle terms will cancel out. One will be a positive and one will be a negative, and they'll equal 0 when you add them together. So we can just skip to the chase and square and be finished. So on this one, my A is 3n, my B is 2. Okay, so I'm going to square the A, so 3n. If I square that, I get 9n squared. I'm always going to have a minus in the middle because the last term is a positive times a negative, which gives you a negative, and then square the last term. So 2 squared gives us 4, and this would be my final answer. Here again, we have 4c is our A, so we're going to square that and get 16c squared minus our B term, so 7d squared is 49d squared. So 16c squared minus 49d squared is going to be my final answer on that problem. So it makes it just a little bit easier and faster. I don't have to expand and do the long way on these types. So that's it.